We are going to do a reading on Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. So basically on Nicki Minaj's marriage. We're going to see what is going on, like what are the current energies and what between them and what are their current feelings towards one another. And quickly we're going to see also how is it going to end. Like are they still going to stay together or is the marriage nearing its end? Because as we all can see, as we all can know and literally just feel that it is not as perfect or as good as it looks like. Like obviously there are lots of hidden wounds in there, lots of just like cold energy, and just it doesn't look right and it doesn't seem and feel right. So let's start by asking the question of what is the current energy in their marriage. Let us see. What are the current energies in Nicki Minaj's marriage? What are the current energies between Jonathan and Kenneth Patsy in their marriage? What is the energy around their marriage right now? What is the energy around their marriage right now? Well, first of all, she is enjoying herself, feeling herself, loving the luxury and loving how people are receiving everything that she is doing and that she's been working on. Um, yeah, they're acting, she's acting like everything is fine, everything is okay, but there is a lot lot to unpack here. I was just laughing because it's always the same thing, but it's never like when I'm going to leave. Um, they're acting like everything is fine, but they're like the love is there, but it's not enough. It is not enough to make a relationship work. There's a lot of burdens. It has become a burden to bear, and it's becoming a burden to just keep um on your shoulders. Like it's becoming heavier and heavier each time. She's also not happy in her marriage. There is a lot in here. There's lots of tension, lots of secrets lurking there, lots of prideful energies. And as I keep saying each time, she is too prideful, and she's the type of woman that if she is going to do something, she knows that she has to do something. But if people are going to keep telling her that she has to do it, she won't do it solely because they're telling her to do it, and solely because she's knowing that they're expecting her to do it. So therefore, she won't do it until she self sabotages enough and until she feels like everybody has forgotten about it. So it's become a much more clearer to her. But there's a lot of illusions and just delusions in the marriage. There's a lot of secrets lurking there. She is not, that happy in her marriage. There's lots of insecurities there, but at the same time, she feels like it's kind of like going into the wrong side of the wheel. Like it's turning into the wrong side of the wheel because it's unfortunate, and she is really contemplating making a decision. She's contemplating about making up her mind about leaving and walking away, but she is still very indecisive about it. She does not know. Like there is the energy of just wanting to walk away, but like let's try one more time, or like let's keep trying. This can't be happening now, not when I'm like I'm a prime, or like this can't be happening now when I'm in a word collaborator mode and stuff. Yeah, they'd be great co-parents though, but yeah, they have love for each other, but at the same time, it's not enough. It's not enough to keep a relationship working because there's lots of other stuff that needs to be there in order for a marriage to keep thriving. So let's see. Let's get more on Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. How does Nicki Minaj feel about Kenneth Petty? How does Nicki Minaj feel about Kenneth Petty? It's like she feels like they're still stuck in the past. Like she would give him help, she would give him a hand, she would be there for him and stuff like that. She'd always be there for him and stuff. But there is the energy of just like no matter what I do, the past is still going to be defining us and it's still going to be haunting us. The past is still going to be defining us, it's still going to be following us and just creating more tension and imbalance in the relationship. in the marriage and everything. Let's see. She sees him as someone who, has passion for some shit that he does. She does see him as someone who can hold his own, as someone who can be holding his ground, holding his own, who definitely knows what he's doing. But at the same time, she feels like at times kind of tense around him simply because, let's see, simply because at times he makes her feel like she's not the only one or makes her doubt herself. And when she sees stuff like that, she's like, okay, I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to focus on myself instead of just um, doing all of this over and over again. Like at times they would go days, weeks without talking to one another simply because they're too prideful. Because both of them are fire signs and both of them have lots of masculine energy. Um, but as I was saying, they would go um days, weeks, even without talking to one another, just because they can't solve some minor issues just because of their pride, just because of the way they handle shit. And at times she feels like he is too full of himself, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna just focus on myself and focus on what I'm gonna do best and what I'm gonna do better for my own, you know, peace of mind itself. Let's see, how does Nicki Minaj feel about Kenneth, her husband? How does Nicki Minaj feel about her husband? Yeah, she feels like he definitely has some of his sneaky ways. She sees him as someone who, can of course keep her secrets bearer, but at the same time she's like he has secrets of his own that are just lurking beneath the surface, but she doesn't know of because at times he just keeps her at bay. Interesting. Very interesting. How does she feel about him? It takes them a while to move on from some of their issues, but once they move on, there is always that type of like awkwardness and just tense period of time with them together. She does seem as someone who is, very fiery, very passionate, who has energy, someone who does not fan them bullshit, who does not play. That's why she likes him because she loves him, still keeps him around, and that's why he's her security. Also, because he does not fuck around and he's ruthless when it comes to shit like that. Um, she also sees him as somebody who can, be kind of manipulative and abusing a certain power that you give him. She definitely does see him as such too. It's insane because I am not getting any loving energy for now. But let's continue. How does Nicki Minaj feel about Kenneth? Let's see. How does Nicki Minaj feel about him? Okay. She definitely knows that he has some stuff that he's hiding, but she definitely of course always sees him as somebody who is very charming, who can, who is helping her in many other ways and creatively too. She definitely sees him as someone who she would like work with and who would always work with her and stuff like that just because he knows her and he's been knowing her since, she was a teenager and whatnot. So how does she feel about him as her husband? How do you pretty much feel about him as her husband? She of course loves him. Like no matter what, they do love one another and she does love him. But let's get more. She does love him, but at times she feels like something's gonna happen that will make one of them walk away, either him or her. Um, she definitely loves the little family that they've built together, of course. Oh, but at times she feels like maybe this isn't something that I would always like stay in. Um, there is a lot of heartbreak here and just some hurt and pain energy here because like some shit that always happens between them and some shit always just like take place, which makes it hard at times to just keep the hearts beating for the person. Like yeah, there's the energy of just like you are unforgettable and there is love in there and everything. But what I'm hearing also is the truth and pretty. So it means that he be lying to her, and she knows that he be lying and that he be sneaky. But coming from him, she will just believe it or just like let it slide. because she doesn't want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and she doesn't want to give people that ammunition or give that moment of like, I told you so, like you should have left way before, like we told you that this wasn't good for you. So she'd say, like, as long as nobody knows what is happening in my life and within my house, or like within my home and my marriage, we'll be okay. We just, have to keep showing and selling them that image and keep pretending to be that happy family. But yeah, there is, I don't want to say she's a fool in love, but she's definitely a little bit naive when it comes to him solely because of the soft spots that he's holding, that she has for him and that he's holding in her heart, just because, he's the father of her child too and everything. But there is the energy of just like regretting something. But there's definitely lots of toxicity in here because of the way that they handle some of their issues and because of the way that they would act pettily uh, towards one another when it comes to some shit. But of course, they would always kind of like reconcile and make up just because it's not the right time for them to, part ways, or it's not in store just yet. So once it'll happen, it'll happen. And the public will be happy that she's finally closing out that cycle. And it's going to be like, you finally did that. You finally let him go, or like he finally let you go. Like you finally did that shit. It's going to be a huge type of like a rebirth cycle for her because you're finally deciding to do what's best for you. Like after so many failed trials and everything, maybe you need to find that love within you. Maybe you need to focus on yourself and stuff like that. Maybe he wasn't the good match for you. Yeah, there's a lot of pettiness and just kind of like jealousy and everything. He's a very I don't controlling, jealous man wanting to dominate and shit. And she's a very flirtatious woman and a very attractive woman as well. So in a way, I don't want to say that he be getting just of the male attention that's beyond her, but at times, yeah, it does create some problems, especially with certain men that are surrounding her in her life at times. So let's see, how does he feel about her? It's crazy because at times you think that you'd find the love there. I mean, yeah, it's there. They do love one another in their own way, but it's much more than just what meets the eye and than just that. So let's see. How does Kenneth Maxey feel about Nicki Minaj? 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 At times he sees her as interesting. He sees her as like sometimes she's like too reluctant, like just take whatever it sees there, damn, he sees her as someone who can be, like who always stands her ground, who always has to defend herself. He sees her as someone who at times can be impulsive, a little rebellious, a lot rebellious. He sees her as passive aggressive too. He definitely does see her as someone who we really kind of like disagree to agree with him at times. Kind of like always just making sure that her opinion is heard and validated, and at times it just makes him feel like he's not the one in control. And once a man feels like at times he's not the one in control, he just gotta assert his power and show you that he is in control. And that's something that's a trait that Nicki was attracted to when it came to him. Like, let's keep it 100% real. So let us see, how does he feel about Nicki? How does Kenneth feel about Nicki Minaj? He didn't see her as somebody who is, extremely charming, feminine, who has lots of money, so, who knows her audience, who knows her worth, who will not back down from a challenge, as someone who is very, healing, soft, powerful, who is very motherly, who is very caring and sweet. But at the same time, there is lots in here. There is something here that has occurred between them and that has happened that is that's kind of like shifted their perspective of one another, and that is really making them consider, is this something that they still want to be engaged in, as in like their marriage, is this something that they still want to fight for, like work for, Like he'll always take care of her and he always look out for her and shit, but like maybe this isn't the way they should be continuing this. It's crazy because both of them are kind of reconsidering lots of their opinions and views when it comes to their marriage. He's very arrogant. This man is very, like hood. He's like very much a hood thug and just like a hood nigga and whatever, and that's something that really attracted her to him because he would provide her with all that and he would put her into her place. That's how she's putting it. He would put her into her place whenever shit is going wrong and whatever. Whenever she would act out of her way. But he's definitely not very happy with her when it comes to something that has happened. He's like, you're doing way too much, you're giving way too much, you're doing all this and what for? There's definitely here something. There's definitely something here that has happened that just made shit kind of like mm, more shocking, and that's just sometimes has happened between them that's really are making them be at odds and feel at odds with one another, and that's definitely shocking the foundation, just like rocking the system between them. There's lots of decisions that needs to be made. Like, do I really want to stay here? Would I regret it if I walked away, or if like if I said something that would like make shit go wrong or whatever? It's crazy. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get my other deck. How does Kenneth feel about Nicki Minaj? How does Kenneth feel about Nicki Minaj, his wife? He sees her as someone, who can be very charming. At times he does see her as, that silly little girl who just needs love and just needs to be hugged on and stuff. He definitely does see her also as someone who, is very hardworking, is passionate, a little bit obsessed with money. But at times he sees her as someone who just is too stubborn and won't just back down even if she's wrong. But it's definitely him too, because he also wants control, she wants control, so it's kind of like they're clashing together. Well, as I said, he definitely is happy with the family that they've built together. He always look out for her because she gave him a kid too. But there's definitely some confusion in the air between them. Let's see, what type of clarity is he gaining on Nicki as his wife? What type of clarity is Kenneth gaining on Nicki Minaj as his wife? Mm. But at times she, like might give him the cold shoulder, or at times there is just like lots of shit that is not being discussed, and maybe there is just like a loss of imbalance and just detachment. Like at times, um, there's lots of indecision when it comes to their feelings for one another. Like for him, like for her, she's more loving or just like a love towards him, and for him he just feels like maybe this is something that needs more work, or maybe I just need to know and figure out how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling towards her, or like if I just want this, like yeah, he does love her because she's family and because they've spent lots of time together and stuff like that, but there's definitely lots of choices when it comes to his side, because he does not know whatever he is wanting with Nicki from now on. Uh, yeah, he also feels like this is a burden too. So both of them feel just like that they're having, like Nicki feels like she's doing this all and feels like she's struggling or just she's burnt out in this marriage, and he feels like this is just taking a loss of responsibility, like a loss of hard work, extra work, and just lots of stress and just lots of feelings like I just have to be this, I just have to be that, I just have to fall into this category or whatever. So it's like they just don't know what to do. Like he sees her as someone who can be selfish at times, or someone who can be like insecure, but at the same time he knows that she's very reliable, practical. She's everything that she ever stands for and says, and she definitely sees her as someone who is wise, but at times can get too petty because like the conflicts and everything that she goes through. So let's see how they what are the energies are going to be surrounding the marriage, the Nicki Minaj and Kenneth marriage? What to expect next between them? It's a lot because it's always like there is a lot of conflicts like when it comes to them mentally that they won't discuss or say to one another just because they don't know how to approach the situation without a fight blowing up. So it's like, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to her. I don't know what to say to him. I don't know how to approach this. I don't want to, like, it, of course they can be honest with one another, but there's some shits here that they just won't say and just won't tell one another, which is crazy because in Nikki's energy, she was feeling like, he's been hiding something from her, and that something might have to do with how he feels towards her because there is a lot of like feeling like I have to make up my mind about how I'm feeling and having too many choices. I don't want to say he's cheating, but child, he's a little. He has a wandering eye. Let's just put it at that. But he's definitely somebody who needs to be watched. So at times I don't blame her for just not wanting to leave and just stay there and just make sure that nothing is gonna happen and shit like that. Um, but we gonna see. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna see feel about Kenneth Petty. Then we're gonna keep going at the energies. We're just gonna do this with the oracle channel. How does she feel about Kenneth Petty? Okay. She feels captivated, trapped, disappointed. Let's see what else can we get. How does she feel about Kenneth Petty? I just think I'm not sure about Kenneth Petty. Okay. Playful, peaceful. As I said, yeah, she feels like they're always going to stay connected, and he's always going to make sure that she's secure, she's safe, she's got it all and shit like that, and vice versa. As I said, they've built a friendship. I don't know if I said that, but they've built a friendship before they even got together. So she trusts him with a lot of stuff. She always expects him to act a certain way or whatever. Yeah, as I said, they're stuck on the past. There is lots of anxiety or anxious energy too from her side. Let's see. Indecisive too. As I said that too, like indecisive, not knowing whether she should give this another chance or anything. She despair. Oh, bitter about some shit that has occurred between them and is still lingering in the air. So there's lots of tension between them, and she feels like he has lots of stuff that he's hiding from her. So therefore, it makes him look malicious in her eyes, like sneaky and shit. So let's see, how does he feel about her? How does Kenneth Maxie feel about Nicki Minaj? How does Kenneth Maxie feel about Nicki Minaj? He's wary. I know. I saw it with the Lover's card in reverse. Like he doesn't trust her. There's a little bit of like awkwardness and tension and mistrust, just because he feels like as long as he isn't going to make a decision, he's just going to stay that way. You know. How does Kenneth Maxie feel about Nicki Minaj? Hurt. See? Yeah, as I said, he really wants to control everything, just feeling like, he's controlling and shit. He also sees himself as being superior just because he's the man. Interested. Of course, you'll always be interested in her and shit. Let's see, how does he feel about Nicki Minaj? They're not peaceful because it's your reverse. Nostalgic, indecisive too. Oh wow. And love card in reverse. I don't want to say he fell out of love with her, but it's definitely more that is kind of like binding them together because she loves him more than he loves her. To me, that's what it's looking like. Because chill, if there is just that feeling of like there is no love, because I didn't get that from his side at all. Yeah, he's guilty. He's guilty because he knows how his feelings are looking right now, but he won't say anything about them. Like yeah, he is still attracted to her. He does envy her for some of her success, some of her money. He is uncomfortable with her at times. He's feeling awkward with her and shit. Um, Even bored at times too. But he won't just say that to her, which is crazy to me. Like, does he even like love her at this point? Because yeah, I mean there is a chemistry between them. He does still, he is still attracted to her and shit, but it's not the same. It is not the same anymore. Like, when you kind of let it be known and just make sure to kind of show your partner that they're more kind of like your superior than them or whatever, it definitely does leave a bitter type of impression on them. So I do feel like whatever that has been taking place between them and that has been happening between them in the last while, definitely made him gain a newer perspective on this shit. And I don't want to say this it is going downhill, but it definitely is going somewhere that is not good. Let's see the energies are going to be popping up in their marriage. Hmm. The energies and Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Patsy's marriage. Sorry, I was gonna say wedding. Lots of anxiety. Not really like any type of real joy in there. Lots of things like you're just trapped or just held prisoner in there, locked up inside is what I'm hearing. Prisoner by Miley Cyrus. Um, there is lots of just feeling like I'm just doing this on my own. I'm the only one trying to make this relationship work. If he wants out, just say that. Let's see. Will they eventually like end this shit? Will they just there is walking away. Ooh, there is just, deciding to detach yourself from all of this shit and just leave shit behind you and, finally end something here. Just feeling abandoned and just like, feeling disappointed in how shit is turning out to be. But there is simply, of course, having more money. I don't want to say this, but if you look closely as how Nicki is looking lately, she's been getting thinner. Of course, I see that she's been working out and shit, but there's also people are saying that she's looking like the pink print Nicki. But if people really put two and two together, if they're saying that, then they should know that definitely something is up in there. Because if you're saying that she's looking like her thinner self when she was going through it with Meek Mill and just literally going through hell and back with him and shit, then you should know that something is up. Like there is a lot of mental stress, lots of fights and arguments in their energy, lots of going back and forth, lots of just feeling like, this isn't going anywhere. This is just going into like the wrong direction and just feeling like everything is not going out as you want going. Into the track that you've kind of like drawn for this shit. So there's definitely lots of just contemplating about what your next move should be. Just wanting to choose happiness and choose yourself and just end the cycle and just because there's going to be lots more fights between them and just lots of disagreements and tension and just a lot of fucking pettiness and lots of feeling like you're just being restricted or just like feeling like you're just closing up on yourself because of the shit that you're dealing with and feeling like this is just you're learning the lessons the hard way. You're learning the lessons about your marriage and about what you should say yes to and say no to. Yeah, there is lots of dissatisfaction in here and just feel like this is not going to end well. Lots of like when you're realizing that, then there's going to be lots of anger and just lots of waiting on who is going to make that first move, who is going to do that shit because the energy isn't right in there. There's going to be lots of disharmony too, and there is another party involved. There is a third party involved in here. But once you know that there has been more than just one person in the equation, and in this you're going to start to want to take action and just create your own reality and your own narrative, no matter how hurt and no matter how heartbroken and hopeless and desperate you're going to be feeling, and no matter how scared you're going to be feeling, just because you want to end shit and whatever, and you're just going to work on this, like walk on this in this journey alone. You're going to have to do it for your highest good, and you're going to take the lead and just, feel like you're finally going somewhere, because all of this, is it really worth it? Because there is really, um she has missed out on a lot of opportunities, a lot of shit. Just when she started to fuck with this man and then got married to him for real, she missed out on so many chances, and she invested in just something she knew that isn't really going to be helpful to her. But there is also the energy of just, let's try one more time, let's just like, try again and shit like that. But it's eventually going to happen the hard way too. It's going to be getting so much more painful, to the point that she's going to be tested, and then it's going to be like, okay, whatever, fine, y'all won. I'm gonna break down my family. It's gonna happen. The breakup, divorce is gonna happen. Yep, there it goes. Breakup's gonna happen. Detention's gonna happen. Lots of shit's gonna happen. And, a lots of feelings of like, when the secrets are going to be out, he is going to be feeling ashamed. He is going to be getting lots of like threats and just insults from the fans. He's going to be feeling, like he's going to want to say something, to say a lot. And then his true nature is going to show. But at the same time, he's not like, I'd wish that he wants to be going down the petty road, just to, be petty and just to expose her and shit like that. But I don't definitely like, I do not see that. But let's see. Um, hmm. He's definitely going to be calling her, like, um, I don't want to say calling her out of her name, but definitely going to release a little bit of statements, or just not that, just like lots of rumors are going to be circulating around, and nothing's going to be said until everything is finalized, though. Like, the truth is going to come out on its own, and he's the one who's going to be looking bad in there. But there's going to be lots going on there, child. I would say that they would try once again, or like they would go back to one another after something's gonna happen, after like they would divorce or some shit. There is the energy of just, like wanting to try again after some years or something, or just wanting to like stop in midway and just wanting to try again. But I'd hope that Nicki is smarter than that and just wouldn't like repeat the experience more than once, twice, thrice. Like, what is that? But yeah, this is definitely nothing new to me, but this is definitely like some shit that they are going through right now. And yeah, this is the Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Tarot reading about their marriage.